Can you believe in a country where prostitution is legalized, yet carrying a bottle of beer is a serious crime? Welcome to Bangladesh, a land of breathtaking paradoxes. With 166 million people crammed into a tiny area, 30 million eke out a living by working as hired bicycle taxi drivers, and flies so numerous you can't take your eyes off your insect repellent. From dusty construction sites to makeshift slums constructed from plastic sheeting, Bangladesh appears as a battleground for survival. Join me as we peel back the naked dark sides of this most populous and complex nation in South Asia right now. The country is named after the Bengal tiger. Have you ever wondered about a land whose very name echoes the roar of the king of the jungle, where wild beauty and human chaos intertwine in a strange way? That is Bangladesh, a South Asian nation named after the unique and proud Bengal tiger of this land, a place that endured long years under British colonial rule, but still steadfastly preserves the golden legacy of Hinduism and Buddhism, blended with a deeply rooted Islamic culture that permeates every breath of life. With a territory of 148,460 square kilometers compared to European countries, this land is not small at all. In other words, it has plenty of room to live in. Yet, the greatest paradox lies in the very people who stand on this land. According to the 2020 census, as many as 166 million people are crammed together here. To help you visualize this suffocating situation, imagine that Bangladesh's land area is only 1/5 the size of Turkey, yet it has to bear the burden of a population twice that size. This suffocating overcrowding has made Bangladesh an incredibly complex country, fraught with intractable human problems, much like its neighbor India, where an overpopulation is always accompanied by persistent negative aspects that are difficult to erase. Specialty flies and tropical beaches. Imagine stepping into a world where pristine beauty and harshness coexist, where the first thing that touches your senses is the salty breath of tropical beaches and the enveloping mystery of lush green forests. Nature here truly possesses a unique, mesmerizing allure, but hidden beneath that captivating exterior are a host of challenges. The air in Bangladesh seems to be thick with the presence of flies, so many flies, my friends, that anyone who sets foot here considers fly repellent an indispensable item to combat this persistent nuisance. This crowded and chaotic environment continues on to Dhaka, the capital and heart of Bangladesh, considered the most developed and urbanized city, home to around 12 million people living together in a bustling rhythm. Assuming curiosity has compelled you to pack your bags and venture into this land, the most convenient route is, of course, by air, where for much of the year you can easily find direct, non-stop flights from Turkey to Bangladesh. However, despite its seemingly chaotic nature, laws are laws, and you will still need a visa to enter, a mandatory procedure before departure. Ironically, it's rare for a traveler truly eager to experience the raw reality of Bangladesh to be unable to obtain that visa. 30 years of effort amidst natural disasters. Bangladesh is also a country frequently affected by earthquakes and floods. Therefore, if you encounter an earthquake or some other natural disaster while you're there, don't be too surprised. The thought of being trapped in a flood in a country so densely populated that just calling out your name will make dozens turn their heads is truly chilling. Looking at Bangladesh on a map, you'll see it's located in South Asia, bordering Myanmar and India. In terms of lifestyle and culture, it largely shares similarities with India. Bangladesh is a society formed after the disintegration of past Indian empires. Although from around the 12th century onwards, the region tended to lean more towards Islamic culture, it never completely severed ties with its neighbor India. In fact, in the 1900s, Bangladesh's geography became a place where Muslims were concentrated in the east and Indians in the west. This division lasted until 1991, and during that time the country suffered from poor governance. Although they have tried to unite and recover in the last 30 years, due to successive tsunamis, floods, and earthquakes, Bangladesh has never truly stood firm. And of course, one of the biggest reasons for the country's slow development is its overpopulation. Language barrier when strolling through Dhaka. Can you believe that a mysterious linguistic paradox exists in the heart of this society, where the sounds of everyday speech and the powerful written words seem to belong to two completely separate worlds? Today, Bengali is established as the official language, permeating every breath of life in Bangladesh. Yet when you wander through the bustling streets, The number of people who can speak fluent English is incredibly small, surprisingly rare. Even when you do encounter someone who can communicate in English, their accent is heavily distorted by a strong local dialect, creating an invisible barrier that makes it difficult to understand their meaning on the first listen. However, the strangeness doesn't end there, because a paradox is quietly unfolding at the top level. The Bangladeshi government chooses to use English in administrative documents and important trade agreements instead of their own native language, creating a painfully invisible gap between the written word of government and the true voice of the people. Cheap labor and its paradoxes. Let's strip away the glamorous facade of the modern world and look directly at the stark reality unfolding right now in Bangladesh, where life isn't about enjoyment but a harsh struggle for survival in one of the world's poorest countries. Here, people sell their labor for meager wages of less than $5 a day, and witnessing it firsthand reveals heartbreakingly rudimentary and manual labor practices. The minimum wage in Bangladesh is a mere $95, meaning a hardworking person earns less than 2,000 Turkish lira a month, making it one of the world's cheapest labor factories. Would giant international corporations and companies ignore this lucrative opportunity when if you or I owned a global brand, we too would be tempted by such low tax and cheap labor to maximize profits? The truth is, the big players have been doing just that, setting up numerous factories here to manufacture and distribute their products worldwide. A brutal calculation shows that the cost of hiring one worker in the US is enough to pay for 10 to 15 diligent people in Bangladesh. Walking down the streets of Dhaka, a familiar yet strange sight will greet you. Men and women alike struggling to carry heavy loads on their heads, their only means of transportation being their own bodies to make a living. Furthermore, looking up, you'll shudder at the sight of dozens of bundles of electrical wires, telephone cables, and internet cables crisscrossing like giant spiderwebs across the sky. A haunting image that makes you think time has stopped in this country, lagging behind the rest of the world by at least 50 years. Traffic can operate without red lights. Traffic here is reminiscent of Vietnam and India. The streets are almost never empty, constantly packed with moving vehicles. If you step forward carelessly, the chances of being hit by a motorbike or car are very high, as there are virtually no overpasses or pedestrian underpasses in Bangladesh. Crossing the road is a dangerous challenge. If you live near a road, the honking of horns and the noise of people will never stop. Many intersections have no traffic lights, with traffic coming from 3 or 4 directions simultaneously, and everything depends entirely on police regulation. If you are a lover of peace and quiet, I think Bangladesh can exhaust you. To endure daily life here, you need a great deal of patience, even to the point of having to cover your ears. People honk their horns at full volume even on empty streets, and this can be quite depressing. Public transportation mostly consists of old buses from 20 to 30 years ago, with dirty seats and always packed with people. In the city, you can take a taxi by bicycle. Sadly, these are entirely human-powered. Even more sadly, almost all the cyclists are skinny men. When 2 people sit on one bicycle, the cyclist has to strain to pull the weight with their bare legs. It's a heartbreaking sight. It's estimated that there are about 30 million such bicycle taxis across the country, and many people make a living from this. Because of the sheer number of bicycles, a collision at an intersection easily leads to arguments, even fights. Disputes between street vendors are also constant. People here are generally tense and easily angered. The reasons are obvious. It's overcrowded, chaotic everywhere, and the life they're enduring isn't something everyone would want. The dark side. Where child prostitution is legal, a chillingly stark darkness is exposed in broad daylight. Where the chaos of material life seems to devour even the most basic hygiene standards, making anyone who witnesses it shudder and wonder if this is reality or a nightmare. As you stroll through the streets and markets, the sight of street vendors densely packed at every corner overwhelms your vision. But the real concern isn't the bustling trade itself, but the severe lack of hygiene present in every square meter. Food stalls and surrounding areas exude an unbelievable sloppiness, and the vendors appear disheveled, with unkempt hair and beards, their faces gaunt and lacking the demeanor of a true business person. Even with a rumbling stomach, you wouldn't dare risk tasting anything for fear of disease. This bleak picture is followed by construction sites sprouting up like mushrooms throughout the cities to meet the pressure of the enormous population, transforming the space into a sea of dust and grime, where the risk of lung diseases lurks with every breath. It creates a feeling that is both familiar and strange, as if Bangladesh were a bizarre hybrid between India and Vietnam, where the street layout, suffocating traffic density, cheap labor, and street food culture strongly resemble Vietnam, while facial features, beliefs, and ethnic origins bear the distinct spiritual imprint of India. Life here also reverses the usual flow, with Friday and Saturday being official days off, and the work cycle beginning on Sunday, making the streets even more overloaded and suffocating than ever on weekends. But perhaps the deepest wound to human conscience is the shameful truth that prostitution is completely legal here, with the state not intervening or imposing sanctions, indirectly pushing social moral values into the abyss and turning the fate of women into a painful tragedy, where poverty forces many families to push their own daughters, as young as 13 or 14, into red light districts and filthy hotels that have become tourist attractions for the cruel curiosity of visitors. And even if they are lucky enough not to fall into that mire, these girls can hardly escape their cruel fate of being forced into marriage at the age of 15 or 16, with blatantly forged birth certificates to legitimize their 18 years just for the dowry money, closing a childhood that had not yet blossomed before fading away in the terrifying silence of an entire society. Bangladesh is also among the countries with the lowest literacy rates in the world. Education is almost non-existent in the true sense. Only 3 out of 10 people are literate. The general literacy rate, especially in cities, is very low. Pollution is rampant. You see trash everywhere you go. And that's not all. People even spit in the streets. So I think you should be grateful where you live. Drinking alcohol is prohibited, but prostitution is legal. One small detail that can be very annoying when traveling in Bangladesh is the stares of others. Whether you are male or female, people constantly stare at you. It's not necessarily sexual, but rather scrutinizing glances, wondering how to take advantage of this person, how to get money from them. Some might just be curious because they see a foreigner, but in my opinion, in Bangladesh, you shouldn't even completely trust a famous tour guide. In a country where people work like slaves for $3 a day, many people are willing to do anything to get your money. They won't rob you directly, but if your face looks like a tourist, the price will immediately be tripled or quadrupled. If you don't have a guide and don't know the market prices, the chances of being ripped off are very high. Restaurants often don't have menus. You look at the dishes and choose. When you ask for the price, the number they quote is always higher than the actual price. Taxis are similar, even if they're pre-booked. So what can one do in Bangladesh in a short time? There are many museums and temples, remnants of ancient empires and founding figures. Of course, there's an entrance fee, and foreigners always pay more than locals. Or, if you don't qualify for Italy or can't get an Italian visa, Bangladesh also offers river cruises reminiscent of Venice. Locals use their boats to transport tourists and earn a living. Ironically, in a country where prostitution is legal, drinking alcohol is prohibited. Society doesn't consider child trafficking a big problem, but considers alcohol to be against the norm. Therefore, you won't find alcohol legally sold in shops. If you're Muslim, at least you can rest assured that there won't be pork in the food. Owning and consuming pork is prohibited in Bangladesh. Top 5 fastest growing countries. After all the noise and dust, perhaps the only consolation that keeps travelers lingering in this land is a tempting economic paradox, where the value of money seems to be magnified many times over compared to anywhere else. The most satisfying aspect is undoubtedly the price, as almost everything here is unbelievably cheap. You can fill your hungry stomach for just 5 Turkish lira, or undertake long journeys, visit museums, and enjoy entertainment for a similar cost of only 4 to 5 Turkish lira. Even finding a place to sleep overnight in guest houses and hotels costs only 80 to 100 Turkish lira, making life in Bangladesh a cheap dream. However, whether this dirt cheap price is accompanied by cleanliness and health remains a haunting question mark. Putting aside your worries, there's something charming that will warm your heart. When locals see a foreigner, they immediately surround you with a strange innocence, wanting to shake your hand, wanting to take pictures with you. In that fleeting moment, you suddenly feel like an important person and find joy amidst the chaos. In reality, hidden behind that chaotic exterior is a powerful undercurrent of vitality. In recent years, Bangladesh has consistently ranked among the top 5 fastest growing countries in the world, leading economic companies to believe that the nation will not collapse, but will instead become even richer if it knows how to utilize the resources of its enormous population. This is also the unwavering belief of the educated class here. They see through the dust of time to a brighter future, and often tell tourists positive things about their homeland with an undying hope. The battle for survival of 5 million people, however, behind those welcoming smiles and promising growth figures, the darkness of reality still hangs over the fate of millions of lives. Out of a total population of 166 million, countless people are not truly living, but merely struggling to survive. According to unofficial figures, nearly 5 million homeless people are living precariously on the streets, a colossal number that makes integrating such a large population into social order incredibly difficult, almost impossible. Even those fortunate enough to find shelter often find themselves in dilapidated shacks covered in dust, or even worse, makeshift shelters made of plastic sheets, completely lacking walls, toilets, and even a proper bathroom. The extreme poverty is most vividly illustrated by images of parents scavenging for leftover food in garbage dumps at markets to feed their hungry children, and penniless people forced to risk their lives by jumping onto trains, clinging to the roofs, or recklessly climbing through windows to travel, creating a desolate scene that makes many places in Bangladesh look like a country just emerging from the flames of war. The strangest and most bitter irony is that amidst this vast sea of people, only about 1 million enjoy a life of luxury and prosperity far superior to the remaining 165 million who are mired in hardship. It makes me shudder at the thought that this small portion of the nation's wealth is being seized and exploited to the fullest by this very minority group. Looking at the bleak overall picture, it's easy to understand why Bangladesh is considered one of the most difficult places to live in the world. While a populous nation can still find opportunities for progress, when the burden of a massive population is compounded by inescapable extreme poverty, life becomes suffocating and unbearable. Every journey eventually comes to an end, and our exploration concludes here. If you wish to continue exploring countries like Brazil, Uzbekistan, Bhutan, or discover mysterious prisons and strange occurrences that even scientists cannot explain, please visit our channel to learn more about other fascinating countries. Since videos with many likes are prioritized, if you enjoyed this video, please like, leave a comment, and share it with your friends so our channel can grow and we can create even more interesting and engaging videos about other countries. Now, goodbye and see you in the next video. Thank you and see you again soon.